Hey everyone, this is just a quick video about how to simplify and kind of streamline your hotbar. It's not a beginner video of how to set up. There are plenty of those out there. So with that said, everything that you see here is a bit exaggerated visually, just so you can see it. I normally don't keep them that big. I think it's ugly. Okay, now with that said, I keep all of my DPS down here. My main buttons, anything that I'm using, always at the bottom. Top shelf is reserved specifically for OGCDs, anything with a cooldown timer, whether it's short or long, doesn't matter, it goes up there, you get it out of the way. When you need them, you go to them, but mainly you're down here. And then with that said, I like how it's kind of divided down the middle where it's left and right. So here, all of my melee, and I'm gonna move a little bit away from these dummies, and my AoE usually. And then on this side I have my ninjutsu, all of my ninjutsu and my kenki gauge activity would be here. And it just simplifies everything. I don't need to look at it to know what I'm doing. I've memorized all of my my mujer combinations. They're just muscle memory. You do these kind of things after a while. Up here, there are a few moves I go to often. One of them being like Mug, just to build that kinky gauge. And depending on my job, like if they have a lot of defensive cooldowns, I've separated them further into left and right. So for example, on a paladin, up here on the right would be my offensive cooldowns, and up here on the left would be my defensive cooldowns. So sentinel and anything else would just be up here. Healers are a little bit different, and I'll get into that right now actually. So, oh, so ugly. Anyways, Scholar, you notice it's a little bit flipped, where I no longer have DPS because that's not my focus. My focus is on healing, and that's why all my healing moves are all in this area here. My DPS is swapped, it's all over here, in things that I might go to often. Again, global cooldown, OGCDs up here, keep them there. You go to them when you need to, they're there. I further divided it by putting all of my fairy techniques in one area, so I don't really have to think about it. So even summon is up here. That empty slot used to be Celine, but the fairies don't. Anyways, that's a different video there. Simplified. Healing one side, DPS other side, OGCDs out of the way, and you can further divide them and separate them, organize them into fairy stuff and whatever. Another thing that I do often is my run command and my LB are always in the same two spots. Every single job. Just consistency, I don't have to think about it. Another thing that's very consistent across the board is any character that can res, all have res and swift cast in the exact same spot. I can show you Summoner, same thing, swift cast, res, main rotation here, OGCDs and anything that needs a proc kind of goes over there. I grouped all of my summons up in one area along with the summon commands. Just simplify everything. my paladin. I'm still leveling. I've been away from this game for about 3 years and got back February, so same thing. The rotation down here, my rotation always starts with square. Every single character. First button, square. Second button, always X. And then from there on you can either press circle or triangle depending on what rotation I'm doing. Sometimes there's, most of the time, 2 rotations. AoE attacks, always in the directional area. Just simplifies it that way. Dragoon, same thing. Offensive, I keep up here. OGCDs, except for my tank stats. So our tank stance is in the same spot with all of my tanks. And the reason why I keep it up there is because I don't want to keep it down here and hit it by accident and just, you know, take off my... That screws things up. So up here it prevents it from being pressed accidentally when I'm doing rotations. Especially in like stressful moments, you press buttons by accident. I'm not done here actually, hold on. Up here, like I said, I keep all of my defensive cooldowns on one side. Anything that's gonna help the party and myself. Hollowed ground and any similar techniques with all the other tanks are usually in the same spot, so I don't have to think about it. It's always here. Just consistency. For Paladin, I've been messing around with casting. Usually I have all my cast here except for this one. But I put Holy Circle there because it's an AoE, so just to kind of keep with the AoE theme. A couple of buttons like this that I haven't unlocked yet, obviously. I'll get to that once my character's of level, but... and then move it around when I need to.